Nick Offerman, an actor famous for playing libertarian Ron Swanson on the sitcom Parks and Recreation, is calling critics of his gay episode in the HBO's The Last of Us show assholes. He's not happy with them at all. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. This is over at thatparkplace.com. Offerman won the award for Best Supporting Actor at the Film Independent Spirit Awards, and during his acceptance speech, he decided to call people who were criticizing the main episode that he's in, where he plays the character Bill and has a homosexual relationship with another character named Frank, assholes. People who are criticizing that, he calls them assholes. Let's listen to what he says here. This is from Film Independent, their YouTube channel. Let's take a listen.
To HBO for having the guts to participate in this storytelling tradition that is truly independent, stories with guts, that when homophobic hate comes my way and says, why did you have to make it a gay story? We say, because you ask questions like that, it's not a gay story, it's a love story, you asshole. So more of that.
So first off, I don't even understand how he's claiming that it's independent. It's literally being made by HBO. So that's just ridiculous on its face. And then he's claiming that the criticism is, why did you make it a gay story, is apparently homophobic hate, when that's exactly what it is. That's what the director of the episode called it. In fact, he says he had to trick people into getting them to watch that gay storyline. And that's also what his co-star Bella Ramsey calls it as well. So I guess they must be homophobic haters for calling it what it is, because it is not a love story. It is a gay storyline, and it is simply trying to promote lust and sodomy, the sins of lust and sodomy. So the Catechism of the Catholic Church is very clear on this. It says, basing itself on sacred scripture, which presents homosexual acts as acts of grave depravity, tradition has always declared that homosexual acts are intrinsically disordered. They are contrary to the natural law. They close the sexual act to the gift of life. They do not proceed from a genuine, effective, and sexual complementarity. Under no circumstances can they be approved. And that's very clear there. We also have Pope Benedict XVI. He wrote this in his book, Light of the World. He says, sexuality has an intrinsic meaning and direction which is not homosexual. The meaning and direction of sexuality is to bring about the union of man and woman, and in this way give humanity posterity, children, future. This is the determination internal to the essence of sexuality. Everything else is against sexuality's intrinsic meaning and direction. This is a point we need to hold firm, even if it is not pleasing to our age. Again, very clear here. You can also look at what is the definition of love. St. Thomas Aquinas says it is to will the good of the other. So engaging in homosexual acts are clearly not good and thus cannot be considered love at all. Thus, claiming that the depiction and promotion of the gay relationship in The Last of Us is a love story is simply not true. It cannot be a love story because it leads people away from the good and into sin. We also have this from Pope John Paul II and the Vatican's Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. They published this letter, Considerations Regarding Proposals to Give Legal Recognitions to Unions Between Homosexual Persons. That makes it clear laws need to be created to protect the common good that is marriage between man and a woman. The letter reads, the church's teaching on marriage and on the complementarity of the sexes reiterates a truth that is evident to right reason and recognized as such by all the major cultures of the world. Marriage is not just any relationship between human beings. It was established by the Creator with its own nature, essential properties, and purpose. No ideology can erase from the human spirit the certainty that marriage exists solely between a man and a woman, who by mutual personal gift, proper and exclusive to themselves, tend towards the communion of their persons. In this way, they mutually perfect each other in order to cooperate with God in the procreation and upbringing of new human lives. The letter then provides a plethora of evidence to that point. And then it continues saying there are absolutely no grounds for considering homosexual unions to be in any way similar or even remotely analogous to God's plan for marriage and family. Marriage is holy, while homosexual acts go against the natural moral law. Homosexual acts close the sexual act to the gift of life. They do not proceed from a genuine, effective, and sexual complementarity. Under no circumstances can they be approved. Obviously, quoting the catechism there. And then in conclusion, the letter says the common good requires that laws recognize, promote, and protect marriage as the basis of the family, the primary unit of society. Legal recognition of homosexual unions or placing them on the same level as marriage would mean not only the approval of deviant behavior, with the consequence of making it a model in present day society, but would also obscure basic values which belong to the common inheritance of humanity. So it's very clear here how you can apply the Nick Offerman and his depiction of this gay romance is leading people away from the good and in no way can be considered love. It's clearly promoting deviant behavior and obscuring basic values which belong to the common inheritance of humanity. And then on top of all of that, we had the episode's director, Peter Hoare. He told Inverse this. He says, sometimes you have to sort of trick the rest of the world into watching these things before they're like, OMG, it was two guys. I just realized. I think then they might understand that it's all real. It's not. It's just the same love. It's absolutely not, but it's very clear what they are trying to do here. They are trying to manipulate you into thinking that that is the same love when indeed it is not. And anyone who has a discerning conscience can see that. We also have this from Offerman's co-star Bella Ramsey. She actually describes the episode as a gay storyline. This is what she told GQ. I know people will think what they want to think, but they're going to have to get used to it. If you don't want to watch the show because it has gay storylines, because as a trans character, that's on you and you're missing out. It isn't going to make me afraid. I think that comes from a place of defiance. So even she is describing it as a gay storyline right there. And I guess Nick Offerman maybe didn't realize that he's insulting his own co-star. But you just can't make it up. You just can't make this stuff up. Obvious promotion of evil. Really upset that he's promoting that evil, knows that he's promoting that evil, upset that people are criticizing it, and has having to lash out at them. Expect more of this, but we must stand firm. We must continue to criticize this stuff. We must continue to call it out for what it is. It is indeed evil. It is leading people away from good. It is leading people away from true love. And I'm going to continue to call it out here on the Trump Report. And I encourage you to continue to call it out in your lives as well. But let me know what you guys make of what Nick Offerman had to say here. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.